we said goodbye again. All the things I said to her, it never comes out right. Will she text tomorrow? Does she think of me? I'd do anything to give her reason to believe that I can be the man that she needs to keep this love. Takes all my honesty. Every time I lie, cut you with my words. Would you give me one more chance? All the times we've had, in my good and bad, promise me this thing we had, it's gonna be a thing we had. Caught her late last night, told her that I needed her back in my life. Truth always hurts, baby, what's worse? You lost your trust in me, and honey, that's what really hurts. These lonely nights with nothing left to do but watch my phone and pray that you come through. Every time I lie, cut you with my words. Would you give me one more chance? All the times we've had, in my good and bad, promise me this thing we have, it's gonna be a thing we had. Well, the full moon brings those memories back, and all those nights along the old railroad tracks. Times we thought would slip away so fast. They're here to stay, baby. They seem to last and last. Some people never feel true love and affection. Baby, you and I got a magical connection. So hold me close, don't ever let me go. Run away to where the wild winds blow. Count the days our love just slow. Lord knows on the cloud you see. Lovers come and lovers go. Our love is stronger than we'll ever know. You know it started from the first hello. It's getting better, seems to grow and grow. Some people never feel true love and devotion. Without your love, I've been drowning in the ocean. So hold me close, don't ever let me go. Or run away to where the wild winds blow. Count the days our love just swoons. No one knows it. Oh, the cloud is still true. Some people never feel true love and devotion. Without your love, I'd be drowning in the ocean. So hold me close, don't ever Run away to where the wild winds blow. I count the days our love just flows. Oh, no one knows it. No one knows it. So hold me close. Don't ever let me go. We'll run away to where the wild winds blow. Count the days our love just flows. Oh, nobody knows it. Nobody knows it. Nobody. So hold me close. Don't ever let me go. We'll run away to where the wild winds blow. Our love just flows. No, I'm gonna cry, still in time.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Flyby. I'm here with Mike Lecompt, Philadelphia legend here, and we just got to hear one of his latest tracks of his newest record. Mike, welcome, man. Thanks for joining us here today, pal.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Pal. So, Mike, listen, got to hear some, obviously, Philly legend here. I wore my Maui shirt today here because, over 30 years ago, it was probably the first time I heard you here, and, still listening to you here down the field, down the shore. You can, yeah, absolutely take them off if you like. And so, tell us a little bit about the song that we just heard there.
Well, that song is called Stealing Time, and had the idea for it a while ago, and I got a buddy of mine I co-wrote some stuff with, and his name's Don Gugini, songwriter forever, and he contributed, and we got that together, and basically it was inspired by, people I met in the last, couple of years that, had an impression on my life and just life in general with the gains and the losses of everything, losing people and one day at a time. And, it's called Stealing Time. So it's basically, trying to get a positive vibe out there. We're all stealing time, so make the best of it as we can. It's like there's going to be ups and downs every day, and life is a battle. It's not easy, but it can be great, and it can be. So we're all stealing time.
That's it, man. I think it's
time right now.
I heard somebody say that the greatest commodity is not like anything that we own. It's time, because you can't make up more of it. We're only given a certain amount on this planet, and how we use it is you either waste it or you make the most of it. So I think that kind of ties into kind of what you're saying.
It can go deep. You can get pretty deep on this situation, but
no shit. Yeah.
The main thing is try to stay positive every day, because there's a lot of negativity in the world, and you can drive yourself into the negative vibe where you really have to say, hey man, I'm here, I'm breathing, I'm healthy, family's healthy, friends are healthy, or as they can be, but there's always going to be heartache and something like that. So right now life is good. I mean, I have people in my family battling, and pray for them. Life is a gift.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just gotta look at it like that, day at a time, and tomorrow's another day, and stealing some more time.
That's it, and make every minute of it, man. So,
I mean, I come across negative people here and there, but and I can be negative too.
We all have our moments, man. There's no doubt about it. Like we can, we get hit. We have a bad day, and sometimes it carries over. We try not to. I
find taking the high road is a lot easier in retrospect. Sometimes you go through situations. I should have did that differently.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to look back like that and think like that, but
the older you get, it seems like I remember a guy telling me one time. I never forgot it years ago. I was saying something, talking about music to him, and he goes, "I'm a lot older than you. I'm a lot wiser." I go, "Okay." And it kind of sunk in, but
So I just try not to to preach about anything day at a time, and I'm really blessed to even be here after the stuff that I.
No doubt. I think you got to, and that's one of the main reasons. Like obviously, having you on here, just for your musical, almost 5 decades here of you being
That's scary.
of just being a musical legend here, and here you are still putting out great hits to this day here, and still you're gonna be down the shore this weekend, and you got a load scheduled this summer, so you're not. I mean, just loading up and I think it's phenomenal.
Well, I got to tell you guys, I'm glad for the promotion. This helps promote the record and gets it out there. And I've been thinking about this. I was never a great self promoter. I always called it morbid self promotion. But these days with the internet and social media, it's like blasting on you.
Right.
I got a million hits on this, and I really can't figure it out completely. A couple other people helped me out and do it. And I thank them really for posting stuff and posting songs. But the bottom line is a song can give people a feeling and give a positive feeling and, help them out in a way. So, and it's not like I'm trying to make $1 million,
Right.
I did record deals in the past and lived in LA and did a lot of different stuff, which I'm grateful for the experience. But right now it's a day at a time because I'm not 30 years old anymore.
Mike, you just kind of hit on something like prior to kind of like I said, I remember being on Delaware Avenue back in the mid '90s, and I was a bar back down on Delaware Avenue, and
Hope you show off your shirt, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, the Maui shirt here. Shout out to Maui, Latstein there, and Mark Harris and the rest of my crew down there. But one of the things that I remember is you wanted to work those shifts when you knew that a band like Lecompt was coming in. When it was booked, you marked that fucking circle on that Saturday night, and you said, listen, I'm working that night like that. I don't care if
you just say fucking.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. So going back there, the bands like that, and I think before that, like you said, you spent some time in LA, you were the band, and I did a little research here, and I saw that you were with Tangiers. I did not know that. You know what I mean?
I did. I had a big video on MTV. It was big for a while till the grunge came in and knocked everything out.
Right.
Grunge was a big, a huge tidal wave that rolled over all kinds of music, and and I'm a fan too. But at the time, we were on the road. They were starting to come up with what is this stuff all about? These guys in flannel shirts, and after the set, they go backstage and have a meeting with a shrink. That's not rock and roll,
Right.
And but they're all married to supermodels now, and whatever. But it's just it influences you at a certain point. You're like, what? But it was a great tour, and I toured with I did a lot of people, Cinderella, Boys in White. It's like Winger, Extreme, and
wow.
Was this during with the time when you were promoting the album Stranded? Going on.
The video had come out.
Yeah.
Pam Anderson was in the video.
See, that's right. Stop right there for a second. Right?
Yeah, how did you get her?
So fucking Pamela Anderson, and this is 91, right?
Yeah, 90. I think 90.
Dude, this is like Pamela before she hit the biggest. She looks. If you look at the video, you guys got to look it up. Tangier, Stranded. It is Pamela Anderson in a.
It was right before Baywatch, I believe.
Yeah, she was on Tool Time Baywatch. I didn't really know who it was because I didn't watch stuff on TV. But at this time, there was I was always battling sobriety, and I was sober then, and I was a very, very, quiet. I'm sort of introverted guy. And when I'm in public, it's a different persona. But this, we were going to the desert for 3 days, and it was a big. There was 50 people. There was busloads. They had catering. They had builders. They built this whole set. It was where they filmed all the Rambo movies.
Oh no shit! Yeah.
So the guy goes, "This girl's in your video," and handed me the Playboy, and she was on the cover of Playboy, and oh, that's great, But I said, it must be a big deal. So we got there for 3 days. We did the video, and the video came out. Then we got on this big tour, and the video was playing. I was in all the magazines and rock cards. So it was exciting in a way, but I was sober through all this. So I realized it was just, this is one to pay us too,
Right.
I mean, I'm lucky I had the foundation and family I had to realize that, like, you're who you are. You're no big rock or anything. So, to make a long story short, we did this first mega tour. Was a big tour. It was in St. Louis Hockey Arena. It was us. It was Extreme and Winger, which were giants at the time.
Right.
And, so we go on first, and at the end of our set, I tell this story a few times. At the end of our set, it was our guitar player's birthday. So the roadie brought out a big pig, huge, and candles in it, and we sang happy birthday. And I looked over at the roadie, I said, throw it in the crowd. And he went, what? I go, in that fucking crowd. I'm a singer, I'm the boss here.
Right.
Ego is good. So he throws it in the crowd. So the rest of our couple songs, Cake, Extreme, Cake, Winger, Cake. So after the concert, my guys get me, yo, we're fucking fired. So we get backstage, and there's 50 people backstage. There's crew, there's management, there's band members. They're all like this at me, and I come from a fighting family, I just thought it was pretty trivial, and I understand that Cake was on the stage. They couldn't do their spins. He was on their gear, and they were reaming me, and I just said to them, I said, can I say something? What do you want to say? I said, I'm very excited. It's my first night of my first tour, and I just got excited. And I want to apologize to you guys, each and every one of you, and I really want to stay on the tour, and I just went all up there, and saying that, I'll fight any motherfucker here. Big guy stood up. He was a big roadie. He goes, I got him. I go, I was ready for him. I know how to fight dirty. I know how to fight. I fight for death to death. And then Winger stopped it. He goes, hey, stop. I like this guy.
This guy's got balls.
So, I was sober the whole time, and it was a great tour. And they played some tricks on me later on, but that was my first experience with Cake throwing in the crowd. Don't throw Cake in the crowd because it's going to come back up.
Yeah, they're going to serve it back. Serve it back to the bands that are coming.
They were about in their amps and on the drum set.
Right.
All right.
Well, and they're rock stars. Yeah.
That's a good story.
That's a great story.
It was a lesson learned.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like listening to Stranded. I mean, that was probably the first time I've heard the song Stranded. I went back and listened to it, and I thought it was a really great song. I mean. And listening to it, I was thinking the same exact thing. I'm like, this thing came out in '91. I was like, which was probably like the end of the Hair Baron era. Now you guys cracked like the 200, right? And hit the charts.
Yeah.
But I was thinking to myself, like,
58 on charts. What happened was, not to interrupt you, what happened
no,
was
yeah,
this overwhelming Pearl Jam and Nirvana and Soundgarden and all these bands were just. They were independent labels. These guys made their records and they got distributed by these things, and they became huge. And they were recorded well. And I'm a big fan. To tell you the truth,
right.
I love Nirvana. I love Pearl Jam. I think they're great. But it was a tidal wave. It took. Now I got offered to do a Monsters of Rock tour.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because a lot of bands are doing it, and Tangier guys like get back together, so it's in the work. But at that point, I was reading a lot on tour buses about, the Seattle movement and all this stuff, and
right.
it just took off, and there was a lot of money made,
right?
And there was there was a lot of sort of like persona was like, oh, you have to be real serious and depressed, but that's not how it was. Those guys were rock stars, and they lived a life, and they made the money. Even now, like, I'm a fan of Pearl Jam. The tour, they're survivors. They see through the whole thing. They're doing covers of the rock songs now, but at that point, they were huge.
It's a great story because it's not like you were slow. You were slowed down by Nirvana and Pearl Jam.
I mean, look at the cover. It's just like when 1972, when the English invasion, not the Beatles, but the Glam, the David Bowie, the Hoople, T-Rex, Sweet. They took this country by surprise.
Right.
I was a Bowie fan when I was a little kid, and that's what basically we did it. But it was the same type of thing. So the music now has resurfaced. If you listen to the Tangier record, it's really not a glam record. It's recorded well. Every song on it is amazing.
Right.
We had top-notch producer. Matter of fact, the guy who produced the record went on to write a couple hit songs. He worked on all Rick Springfield stuff, but then he wrote No More Tears for Ozzy. He passed away from cancer. He was younger than me.
Oh wow.
And John Burrell. And it was just a great experience living in LA doing this record. Like the studio we did the record in was called Devonshire.
Okay.
Billy Joel did Piano Man and Dolly Parton. Graham, Brown-Eyed Girl.
Van Morrison.
Van Morrison. And Dolly Parton was there. And Ozzy, they were coming out and seeing these people every day. And so, and also, and at that point, not to harp on the sobriety, but I was sober then. I was taking it all in and just, not just being quiet, watching all this, and basically it was a learning experience.
Yeah.
It was a wild experience to go through, live in LA, and get paid by a record company to just record every day.
Right. I mean, I'm thinking during that time, like you're in LA, you're part of this big band, signed by Atlantic, right? If I'm not mistaken, right? So big label behind you, and all this money. You got Playboy, Playmate in there. You're on tour with all these bands. Then I'm thinking like, wow, this is like like everything in it, the height of success, like women, drugs, alcohol. But you're living the sober lifestyle at this point. You're soaking it in. You're able to enjoy this moment, unlike other people may get wrapped up into it. You've already been there. So, you did able to enjoy that there.
Right? I knew that I wouldn't last the way I did it with that gig. It wouldn't last, especially that incident. If it was that backstage or the cake throwing incident, I wouldn't.
Right.
When I'm sober, I think it through, and I'm blessed to be sober now. But it's been a battle over the years. But I had good support around me, great family, and it's just easier for me,
Yeah, Mike. Listen, I think that that is your battle with sobriety and the fact that you're here today. I congratulate you, man. That is something to be very, very proud of. And I think you bringing that to the forefront here and talking about it, because there may be somebody on here that may be battling a little bit of depression.
It's all about that,
right? And you never know. You never know where someone's at in their life.
That's what keeps you
right.
Actually sober sometimes. But some person comes, a younger person or anything, and I can just I don't have to harp on them and say, man, you're going down a tough road and it'll get worse. And if there's any way it can help anybody in any way,
right?
It's a good feeling, You don't have to tell anybody about it. You just say, I'm here for you, and I have a lot of people like that around me. And, when I get to that point of self-pity or this or that,
right.
There's somebody always worse, somebody always struggling. And so, gotta wish for the best and, do anything you can to help people out in this crazy world we're living in,
Right. Yeah.
Especially for you to already live through that, and they've explained it to someone because what's going on. You have a feel for that. So
I have a few people that give me some advice from an outside, perspective that I really respect, and that helps me get through each day. I mean, I have a brother right now, my brother Franny, who's a fighter. He's battling cancer, and he's a fighter. He's going to get through this stuff, and I've also had family members. I'm one of 8. I have a couple family members that passed from cancer. And, we got to fight.
Right, man.
So I have a lot of faith, a lot of confidence that he's going to get through this. He's out there listening. I love you.
For anything of you, man. Yeah, you got a guy, in your corner here, and
my brother Franny's a wild. He's a tough guy, man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him and some other people in my family who really took me away and guided me.
Played a big role in your sobriety there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't even believe that sometimes I'm at this point right now, but and people ask me, they go, well, don't you think about, I go, sure I do,
right.
It's all the time, but I at this point in my life, I know where I'm going to go. I mean, it's not going to be a pretty sight,
Right. And one day at a time, that's it. It's blessed.
I keep that in my mind all the time. Like that is not a option to me, and that's what you have to believe. And you can actually help other people out, that they can, as long as that is an option and life gets better and you're breathing every day, or barely breathing.
Yeah. Well, Mike, so I mean, what I find interesting here too, and it shows how even your strength to maintain your sobriety, at the height, when you're this fame and women and and all these musicians around you, like and you maintain your sobriety, and even to this day, like you still work the club circuit and bars, and you're around the environment here. I mean, I'm asking myself, like, hey, do you find it tough sometimes, like to,
Yeah.
what I mean? It's challenging because you're like,
because ego gets involved,
right?
And ego ruins everything and everybody. And
Yeah.
I've learned that at a young age about that. Like even like, no, I could drink a gallon of Jameson, right? And that was like, oh man, you should see this guy drink, And I would drink glasses down and do that. And of course, there'd be stimulants going along with it, but
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter,
Right.
There's no big thing about it. And I perform better sober,
Right.
If I can take people out of their mind for a little bit while I'm performing. Someone told me that's the purpose,
Right.
If you can make a person forget about the problems, what's going on, while you're on stage doing backflips or throwing guitars or singing, or you can get someone out of their mind, and that's I guess my job, my purpose,
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I want to be a good neighbor too,
Yeah. Yeah. So, Mike,
like a good neighbor.
yeah. So you obviously, the band, over 30 years, right? Together,
What happened was, I tell you paraphrases, but my brother, who was a professional drummer in LA, who played with everybody under the sun, from Stevie Wonder to Madonna.
older brother.
Yeah, he passed from cancer 5 years ago, and right before I was diagnosed, or like 6 years ago. My sister passed before that, but when he moved to California, I was 15, so I started taking drum gigs that he had. He was a drummer, so I was playing in wedding bands as a drummer. Then eventually, I started a band, and we needed a singer. No one could find a singer, so I ended up singing. So that's how I ended up singing. I'm not a great singer. I can push it out, but I'm learning every day. But so I had this band called Slider. Then that was for a couple of years. And this band in the area was called Stitches. They were really big band.
Yeah.
They were established forever. They made a lot of money. So the girl Ronnie was leaving, and they were going to break up. And this agent at the time, who was my agent now, Anthony Baker's father, said there's one guy that might be able to take her place, and nobody will ever take her place. So I ended up joining that band, and it jumped to another level even because. It was, we played all these places from Lancaster to Washington, and they even gave me a severance fee when I left. Because when I left, I joined another band called Pegasus from here, and then from that I started Lecompt in '87. So in '87, '88, and '89, Lecompt was the height of the hair and all that. And then I got over to join this band Tangier, and it was wow, it was a record deal. Signing bonus, this and that. It was the big time. So of course I did it. So I did that for a couple of years. And when the grunge knocked that on its ass, I came back and kept writing songs and putting out records and had Lecompt, and there was versions of Lecompt that went up and down because I would fall off my track and this would happen, that would happen, and eventually I battled cancer, and cancer changed my life.
Right. Yeah.
It really did. I'm really blessed and lucky to be here because it really took a different perspective on, especially my sobriety, and the member doctor saying to me, "We're trying to save your life, and you're trying to kill yourself." And I'm like, "Why?" And he read me in my system, and that's really when I completely said, "This is it, man."
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty eye-opening.
I love people, and I just want to be around for people.
Yeah, I'm well, Mike. Listen, I mean, there's you hear stage 3 cancer, right? And I can't imagine what's running through your mind when you hear that. I mean, you get that diagnosis, like,
Yeah, it's definitely a out of body experience. It's like, at the time when I got it, I really just said, gotta fight.
Right.
Gotta fight.
It's not there's no option.
And in my case, I was very lucky.
Right.
I was very blessed, and treatment was good, and I just got, I'm here for a reason, and I never I never forget that, where I came from, and just I'm praying right now every day
Right.
for lots of people, and myself, and it just, it's the scariest thing because the guy I was in the hospital with, a younger guy than me, battled for 12 years, Brendan, and he passed uh, some months back, and this guy was unbelievable person. He treated me in the hospital for years on and off, and he was just a brilliant kid.
Yeah.
And the Eagles won the Super Bowl for him because I knew that I went because he was such an Eagles fan. He knew everything about every sport, and we were in the room together for some months, and then I had so many crazy people before the pandemic come visit me in my room that he couldn't take anymore. He had to give me another whole other suite at Fox Station, and it was overwhelming. And I don't think they would let that happen now, but it was pretty crazy,
Yeah.
Anybody, I was on morphine and Dilaudid, and the people would just come. I don't remember some people, but I remember when I finally got out of the hospital, I had like 2 carloads full of stuff that was brought there for me, But like I said, I'm a very, very blessed person.
Right. Anybody that knows you, Mike, I think they're gonna on a personal level. I mean, they know you're just a very giving person, like very always willing to help. Like you're involved in the community.
I'm a needy person too.
Right? But you're always giving to the community. You're involved in benefits and raise money for various charities.
I was thinking about that earlier.
Right.
I was thinking about that on the way over here. Like I can remember going way back and being asked to do benefits for like a 9-year-old girl with the Dublin Hounds in like 1988, and I think she made it through it, and you just got to give back because nothing really matters, but if you can save or help donate to someone to save a life or make a difference in someone's life, it's also nice feeling,
Yeah.
It's definitely got to be a nice feeling for you. You raise money for the people.
Yeah, I mean, those people struggling every second of every day, and we wish we could imagine a magic wand and have everybody all right. But you got to fight and pray for them, and hopefully things go their way.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not a fair world.
No. Well, colorectal cancer. I mean, I have a family history in there, and so to me, it's hit me personally here. There's a friend of the podcast here, Chris Lassick, and he runs the Drunk Phillies Fans, and it's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek sports kind of podcast / community group here. But they do a lot of cancer awareness and fundraising for that. So maybe the 3 of us get together, maybe do something for some colorectal cancer awareness. Because the most important thing is, I feel like, is just like the early screening and how preventative that is.
Yeah.
And just go in and get screened, right? I mean, imagine if you waited any longer, Mike, right?
Well, I waited a long time because what happened with me was my sister, who was matriarch, basically of all 8 of us, she was a nurse. Basically, when I was right after I was born, she was there. So there's a big separation. There's 8 of us. So she helped a lot of people along the way. She's a saint, and she battled this multiple myeloma for 19 years until I finally got her. But she literally was up my ass, like whether it was if I was drinking too much or doing drugs or health and get this, I got back to her into a hospital one time for an operation with no insurance, which the doctors had, liked us so much, but she was advocate, so she had passed away, so I knew something was wrong with me, and I just didn't go to the doctors, like stupidity, and that's why I'm an advocate to tell anybody, 48 years old like yourself,
right?
How are you, Rob?
50.
Well,
I just had one.
And let me tell you something about it. It's not all that bad. It's the best high I ever had.
Yeah.
But then you come out and you don't even know you did it.
Right.
And, so I'm an advocate to tell people prevention is a big thing,
Right.
And I was talking earlier about in my neighborhood where I grew up in Holmesburg, there's a multitude of people who have cancer.
Yeah.
And there's different pockets all over the country, all over the city that, environmentally, who knows, I don't really know, but I wish they could get to the bottom of it or find some kind of, cure or something to help people out, because it's an agonizing way to live, where they have chemo, radiation. It's just hard on you, man.
Right. Yeah.
And I never felt the pain that I felt. I mean, I felt some pain, self-inflicted or whatever.
Yeah.
But there was times in the hospital where I was in the room and there was some professional boxers in there that I knew that they're pretty well-known boxers, and they saw me in this pain, and they were flipping out, running down the hole and top.
Yeah.
Really?
I'll never forget that pain. No matter how much drugs they gave me, I thought I was going to die right there. It was just I didn't know there was pain that
to that level.
Tortured. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got through it, and I'm here.
The fighter, man. That just is, again, the fight doesn't matter. There's nothing that this man can't, put it in front of him.
You have to fight.
He'll fight it, man.
You can't give up.
I respect that about you. I love that about you, man. That's incredible.
Every day is a special day. Tomorrow might be the last day, but it's not. Day at a time.
Yeah.
So make the best you can. Make people happy in a way, and help people, and reciprocal. Come back to you too.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I'm pretty heavy and deep. Let's talk about something funny.
That's it, man. Yeah. So Father Judge alumni, right? If I'm not mistaken, right?
Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, Hall of
I don't know
Fame.
why, but
Yeah.
that was I was in the Hall of Fame. I guess it's close to 18 years ago, but I was inducted to the Hall of Fame with some major guys, the Joint Chiefs Staff General, the guy who entered the plastic group, all these guys were on there, and they were all brilliant, guys, and they all had speeches. And I remember just coming off the cuff, talking to these kids. I said, "Look, man, I just want to tell you guys, you can get sidetracked by a lot of stuff." And I told them basically about, the opiate thing and all that stuff was really starting to happen, and be careful, and pray for you guys, just don't get sidetracked. Stay on track as much as you can, but there's always collateral damage and stuff like that, because it's an epidemic these days.
Yeah.
With stuff, and but it was fun being inducted into the Father Judge Hall of Fame, and I just signed the anthem at one of the games, which was,
I saw that the basketball game. It kind of went viral, man, and
it's a very intense song to sing.
Yeah.
Not like you're in a bar and everybody's talking about it, screaming. I'm like, everybody's quiet.
everybody's quiet there, right?
Yeah. So I I don't usually look at comments or posts, but I was on the judge thing looking. There was like 900 posts. People were so kind to me, but there was a few in there that said like some bad stuff, and I just pissed off. And I had a friend that told me, "Don't bother me. Don't."
Those people are always going to be there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I listen to it, and I think that is a hard ass song to sing. That's not like like people hear, and you have but there are so many renditions of it.
Well, when you think
You
about
gotta
some of the people who butchered it, all in big time, like
Yeah.
big time singers, and like
Right.
so you get that, but start the right note. And, we've been singing it all our life, so
Right.
but yeah, if you get that one nervous thing, like the Carl Lewis.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That? He wasn't a singer at all, but
No.
I was proud to do it from high school, and I did it for your daughters
Right.
too.
Came down and at Nazareth, he shared the love around, and this is like, again, just a testament to you. But thinking back to it, right? So you do this for the Father Judge basketball team, right? Father Judge basketball, again, congratulations to the Father Judge basketball team. They win the PCL championship. I mean, and that's a tremendous coaching staff, phenomenal kids. There's and I couldn't be more happier to the amount of effort and energy that they put into that program there.
Kinds of girls, they made it to the playoffs.
And they're still playing. They're in the playoffs right now.
They lost a close game on Saturday, I think it was.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Or it was Friday.
Okay.
I have a friend there, yeah.
The Penn girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm friends with Mike Lecompt.
Yeah, Mike's great.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah.
I know. Introduced to him by some a good friend, and there was a close game. I know someone who was there, and I watched him play. I went to the Palestro one day, watched him play, and I was amazed, just like watching these girls play. They were very, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
And when I watched the judge give him, I was blown away too. I was like,
Right.
holy smokes, you know?
Yeah. I mean, and listen, I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, was that your first time that you did the national anthem there, Judge?
A judge, yes.
Yeah.
I've done it before some other places, but that was years ago. And now, you know, I'm learning to be a better singer, believe it or not. Like every day, you know, I have a studio in my house. I write songs, record every single day, try to work on stuff. I'm re-releasing a bunch of stuff. I have a multitude of songs that I never released, and certain people are hearing them. You got to put that out. So with this internet and social media, you have to join in. I mean, it's a necessary evil. You know,
Right.
You know, all of us were like, you know, the phone is tough sometimes because you see these things. And you buy stuff, and you see stuff, and you hear stuff. And you can be inspired and you can be mad at the same time, but it's the way of the world right now.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm excited about these new songs out and doing some videos. You know,
Yeah.
it's just, you know, it's what you do. It's what I do as a musician.
Right.
Know? Like, you know, it's just how I make my living. I made my living all my life like this, and I had some really high points and really low points. And right now, I'm on a pretty good plateau. You know,
Right.
I got a good summer coming, and you know, from Seattle, Wildwood, Avalon, Atlantic City, all these places, and I'm doing more of my own stuff. And you know, here's the
Yeah. Yeah. Cheers, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm a Wildwood guy myself. You know what I mean? Love Wildwood, and was just down there this weekend.
Me too.
Mm.
Wildwood Crest, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you're going on for one of your shows, Mike, is there like a little bit of planning going on? Like, do you have a set list or no?
Nothing.
You just
Nothing.
you feel it.
No, I'm thinking about that lately. Sometimes I'll think because there's such a multitude of songs. There's thousands of songs.
Right.
And when you get cornered into a certain demographic at a certain club, you know what they want to hear. But then again, you know, they have roots, parents that they might like this other stuff. So, you know, every time I try to write a song list, I've been trying to write it for like 45 years. I can never finish it because it just goes on and on and on and on. And if everybody in the band who I play with knows the songs, we can do them like off the topic. Like we did something the other day. People did Sunday Wildwood. People just yelled out, and we just did them. And I was like, oh, that's cool, man. I forgot about that one. But you know, there's certain songs that we have to do that even the younger people want. You know, that are classics. Like, can you do that? Can you do that? Whether it's Dream On or You're So Vain or, you know, Ryan, whatever. You know, so it's part of the show. Someone told me who was in a, you know, because people bellyache about, oh, these same songs, it's your job, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so I know a girl, a friend of my sister's, her daughter was on a Broadway show for 6 years.
No.
And every single night was the same exact thing,
Yeah.
you know, and it was a show. That's what they did. So very successful, but it's the way it is. I mean, I'll change it up some nights, which it's nice, but I have to think about it beforehand. And I'm even thinking about this age getting some kind of a set list of or song, but it would be pages.
Right.
Just on the computer, but yeah, you know, different vibe. Then I'm going right away, song, and it depends where we play. We play like the Seaport. I use horns. We could do some classic stuff, but I play Seattle. It's a younger crowd, which they like some of the classics, but you know,
Right.
we're doing, you know, Molly Cyrus, you know.
Right. Yeah.
You know, but it's all good. You know,
Yeah.
I'm very grateful. I'm grateful to have the gig that I have, and it's amazing that I'm having the run that I have now.
Right.
It is amazing to me.
You think? Really? Yeah.
People come up to me and say, "Hey, too bad you never made it." And I always use the line like, "I'm a working musician." You know,
Yeah.
I'm successful. I'm working. You know, it's like you take care of your family, you're successful. You know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, but there's always going to be someone on the negative side.
And that's what I mean. And they don't
There.
truly know the big picture here. They don't realize that, yeah, you had the studio deal and all this stuff, and you've rolled the roller coaster here, my man.
Yeah,
You've seen it all. You know what I mean?
Because I walk through
Yeah.
the park and I'll see somebody I haven't seen in a while, and they go, "Oh, you're still doing that?" I go, "What do you do?" I go, I go, "You still plumbing?" Like, yeah. I go, "Yeah, I'm still doing it." You know?
This is my life's work.
I'm doing it, so I gotta take my last breath. I feel like, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm really blessed and grateful that I could do it at this age, you know.
You know,
My legs are holding up, my pipes are holding up, you know. But you know, I'm just lucky, and a lot had to do with his living a clean lifestyle, you know.
Yeah, I think what's phenomenal. We and Rob were talking about this yesterday, right? We met up before, and I said, "This fucking guy, he's fucking hanging upside down at the fucking inlet." You know what I mean? Like I mean, like it's nothing. And not only that, like you're like a fucking like a championship rodeo star with that microphone.
I suggest you don't hang upside down, because I was thinking about this the other night when I was hanging upside down for a while. All the blood rushes to your head, and you're trying to sing, and you're singing double. And there's been times like when I'm on the bar singing, even and I'm singing a high note, and I'm singing, and actually the room is spinning, and I'm like, keep my feet set still, you know, because hang in there, stroke out for everybody. I'm stroked out. Even.
Yeah.
Hey, we're all minutes from stroking out.
That's it. Yeah. Do you have a place, like, obviously you've been around, you've been to, like, you know, one of the most legendary places I think was the Velvet Lounge, right? Was one of the iconic places.
That place was big before I was even playing the circuit.
Right.
It's called the Townhouse, which my brother was in bands when I was 6 years old. You know, he was playing in these bands already, so I got to see this. I was in Wildwood at the surf club when I was 7 years old, and I saw this band, and they had these dancing girls. It was like, you know, that girls were probably 18, but to me they were like, you know, women. Like, and there was a big band, and it was a bandstand. And my brother, you know, he was such a good mentor to me with musicianship wise, playing and listening to stuff and roots and listening to all kinds of music, not just this, not just that, you know, a combination of everything, R&B, jazz, rock, heavy rock, punk, you know, hip hop, whatever. You can learn something from. You know, there's some kind of a lot of hip hop. These guys, their syllables are gone so fast. It's like an exercise, you know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And you know, it's a learning experience. So you never stop learning.
Yeah.
When you stop learning, you might as well.
Yeah. You know, that's
You're kind of lucky that way that like you had the family to get you into the music that young.
You know, there was 8 of us.
This was an obvious path for you.
My younger brother, there's Joe, there's me, there's Fran, there's Paul, there's Jack. There's Rose, there's Hank, and Regina, and all of them played music in our house.
Really?
You know, so it would range from this to that. You know, from Elvis to like Lou Reed, Bodie, Not the Hoople, Paulie. You know, Burt Bacharach, everything. I mean, anything that's musical, I will listen to and go, wow.
Yeah, that makes it even better.
Some people will hear stuff, go, oh, that sucks, but I've always seen this like, man, they put that song out. They wrote that song. They created that. Give them kudos for it. You know?
Yeah.
No matter what it is, you know.
Right. Yeah. That's a good outlook on it.
Yeah. I mean, life is a learning experience.
Right. And like kind of you had mentioned it, like when your song came out with Tangier, you know, it was 91, right? And to me, you know, I take me back to my freshman year, you know, probably this root. You know,
freshman where?
Ryan, freshman Ryan. And probably, you know, I look back in that period of music in my whole life. I feel like 1991 was probably the greatest year of music, right?
It was everything.
You had everything, right? That's it.
Even to this day, right now, this second, there is a genre for every music. Like you could find internet, some band you never heard of. Right. Just selling out someplace that is kind of like Americana or rock or indie. You know, it's everywhere. So as long as you still create, but it is overflowed these days. I mean, every day on Spotify, there's 75,000 songs posted.
Wow.
And there's every day.
I did not know that. Wow.
That's a new song. You know, so you hear songs on TV shows and Netflix shows and Apple TV. And, wow, that's a cool song. And you wonder how it got there. And the way it got there is, you know, like I had some songs, some success, some songs on some TV and stuff like that. And I did some commercials and sang some commercials over the years. And, you know, people know how to go that route. They know how to make money, but I was never a money, you know.
You weren't a horse for your craft, you know what I mean?
Like, I did make some serious money over the years, but I ruined that in different ways, you know.
Yeah.
but I've learned that lesson. So I'm on a pretty good level right now. So
Yeah.
like I said, every day is a blessing. Every day is a learning experience. Even from tonight, I might go home and play the piano and come up with a hit song and cut you guys in.
Yeah. I'll just come in. I'll play the tambourine.
It's like I was a little apprehensive about doing podcasts. I did one before and a couple before, and I haven't done one in a couple of years. But the guy, that's what I did, which was a sweet guy, but it got really in depth into addiction and everything. And I think it did help some people. But I want to make this slap happy to you.
Right. I think you got. I mean, listen, it's a part of the story here. It doesn't have to be. It's not all encompassing of what you've done here. We could sit here all day and write a book. I mean, and we're just going to scratch on the surface in the hour that we're here. And I'm going to try to cover, and Rob, I'm going to try to cover as much as we can here with you.
I mean, I have stories like a lot of people that just can't even make up. There's no way that happened. I go, that happened.
Right.
And some of them are pretty wicked. And some of them are very dangerous. Some of them are happy, and some of them are funny.
Right.
Like my bass player was telling me a story. He goes, Michael, you realize what you did? I go, I was smoking pot at the time. Like when I was in Tangier, I was sober, but I was in the studio recording, and I was 28 or 29 years old, and people were, do you remember? So I said, how about this? I'm smoking some pot. So I'm smoking pot, and the next thing you know, like the producer, this Andy Johns producer, who did all the Stones records, all his Apple records. I became good friends with him. I've really been friends with him. He lent me his car all the time, and I would drive him home. He was drunk. He passed away. But his brother, Glenn Johns, did the Beatles and the Who. So he's royalty. Good. Andy Johns, old Dio, Rod Stewart, Eddie Money, Cinderella. He's done everybody's guy. So I got to be great friends with him. So he would lend me his car, and I would drive him around and keep his car for a couple of days with Eldorado. And then one day, I went up to his house and bring his car back. And he lives on Mulholland Drive in L.A. And I said, "Is Andy here?" His wife said, "Assholes in the garage." It was a man cave up on Mulholland. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
So I was in there, but when I pulled up, there was a Lamborghini Jeep in the driveway. Somebody's here, maybe Rod Stewart or somebody, But it wasn't. It was Eddie Van Halen.
Eddie Van
So
Halen.
I went back, and I'm sitting between Eddie Van Halen and Andy Johns with his couch. He had this man cave watching this movie. And there's like, Eddie's like, you want something? I'm like, nah, man, I'm sober. I've been there, done that. Eddie was really
The Frankenstein, was on the Frankencaster, or is that what it's called here?
They were both on a mission.
Wow.
And I was sober, and I was experienced. Like, this guy's my idol.
Yeah.
And he's like drinking a gallon of wine. I think his wife was pregnant at the time. And then we got to be friends. I went there a couple of times, and he lent me this guitar. He lent me like a 57 Telecaster worth like maybe $50,000. So I bring it back. I told my friends, I feel like I got Eddie's. Yeah, it's really nice. I swear to God, I'm at Eddie's house and everything. Yeah. So one night I'm at the house, and I'm in my apartment, and I'm playing the guitar, and I got the guitar, and I smoked a little weed, and I took the pick guard off. I was looking at it, because it's 1957 Telecaster. Now it's like an amazing guitar, and probably worth a couple $100,000 now. Today, yeah. And so I don't know why I did this, but I pulled out a nut hair, put it in the pick guard. I forgot about it until like the guy was funny. He goes, Michael, you're the only guy on this planet that has a nut hair. Well,
my DNA is now drenched in this.
It was funny at the time.
It's funny now.
I love that. It was
a
big influence on me.
Right.
I got to meet him. I got to see another side of him that people didn't see, but he also battled addiction too.
Right.
And he got together, and
So Eddie, obviously, you're like shock and awe. I mean, and you talk about like, these are guys you kind of, who's your Mount Rushmore? Who are the guys? I mean, I know, listen, it's probably a man like yourself who was, it's probably.
I had no choice when I had the Beatles in my house, of course, the Beatles, and it was more the Beatles, the Stones, the Who. But when I was 12 years old, my brother Paul was, at that age for the glam. So I heard these records. It was Belly records,
Yeah.
So we all knew, like, oh my God. So I saw Belly when I was 13, and that sort of changed my life. I saw Belly at the Tower Theater. So, I tell people I saw Belly when I was 13, 50 years ago.
Wow. Yeah. And, at the Tower, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I followed his career, and, he has ups and downs too, but
Right.
he was a great artist, and like everybody, like I said, like everybody from you name it, I can find something like and he's got great track.
Yeah.
Anybody that creates something, you got to give them kudos, you got to give them credit.
Right.
It's like, hey, whether they plagiarized a little bit of it or did this, it's still a complete work, and I try to find the best in it, but Bowie, The Who, I did a Who show for years, and George the Stones, Rod Stewart, I can go on, and there's this country artists, Hank Williams, and all those kind of Johnny Cash, Elvis, Elvis fan.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
I'm a closet Elvis.
You just keep going. Yeah.
I know every Elvis song,
Yeah.
Elvis recorded 800 songs.
800.
Over 800 songs.
Wow.
And that's a lot of recordings. He didn't write anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a funny story about Elvis. He died part had written this song called "I Will Always Love You."
Right.
Which is she made $1 billion with it, but at the time she wrote it, she played it for Elvis, and Elvis said, "Hey, I want to do that song."
Want that song?
Goes, but I'm going to be on the song as a writer. And she said, "No, you're not." And he never did it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So she held her.
She held her. Way to go, Dolly.
Yeah.
Fucking right.
When Elvis says,
when the king.
Elvis was like Hound Dog or something. He put his name on it, and at that time there was so much. It's a corrupt business, like most businesses,
Right.
Viola and writing credits. You can be in a room with somebody, and they can go, "Hey, apply this chord in there," and these things they're on the song or whatever,
Yeah.
I've seen it happen. It's happened to me, in a good way too. But it's a strange business. But we have today. Let's go tomorrow.
That's it, man. Yeah. Well, Mike, so talk to me about, like, as we get ready to wrap this thing up, man. So what's on schedule for the summer? What we got here, man? Talk to us. I know you got the new album out, right?
Not only the new album out, but I have a lot of releases coming out that I never released.
Where can they hear the album at? Where can they get that at? Where can they get the album at?
They can get it on Spotify or iTunes. It's on iTunes, and there's a couple other things. I'm re-releasing records that I put out because, like I said, I'm not up on the technical side of it.
Right.
And I have certain people who, guide me in the right way to do this. I have lots of friends that know this new technology, which is, it won't right under me, but I can get on my phone and go to a website.
Right. We try and stay in our lane, right, as best we can, right? Let the pros do that.
People making waves because the song is getting so many hits and so many plays, and I guess you put it out there and people come on it, and if they like it, they'll share it. But I have a bunch of songs that are unreleased that I recorded over the last 40 years that I recorded in great studios, and I never had complete confidence in myself, or
maybe you're just a perfectionist, like I just don't want to, you don't want to let it go, you know what I mean, until you think it's perfect.
The singing thing, I can't stand hearing myself sing or even talk.
Yeah.
Be like,
That's everybody.
But there's a lot of songs that I've been digging up and go, wow, and I play for certain people and go, you got to put that out. So I'm putting that out, and with the help of certain people, thank you guys and girls.
Yeah.
And it's every day's an experience. So I'm not. It's not like I need an ego boost or anything like that. It's just like if I can make someone hear something and say, "Hey, I like that song. It got me through my day. It's good," That's
just bring people together. Like, you're down the street, people are down there having fun, having a good time with their family. And now, it's generational, right? So, you got grandma, your dad, son. I mean, you got 3-4 generations of people down in Wildwood, at the inlet singing along with you. You know what I mean?
And the purity, I mean, I get a lot of anxiety, and nervousness, but because I could slip and break my neck one fall. But I see little kids that it's their first experience. Sometimes they're scared. Like I have a friend of mine, Sawyer, who came out one time 2 years ago to see me for a time, and she had to leave the club because she's only about 7 or at the time, but she got frightened by me, and she love her. And you're singing to all these people, and I'm trying to just take them out of their element. I mean, I'll sit on an 80-year-old guy's lap, do this, it's all fun, but the bottom line is entertainment and getting people. I'm an entertainer. You know, I'm a musician first and a songwriter.
Yep.
But my job right now is to entertain and get people out of their head for a little bit, to forget about everything crazy in their life like we all have. And, you know, so I'm trying my best to do it. You know?
And you're the best to do it, Mike. You are, man. Like to do it at this length, I mean, and still give it, like, look up and know my man isn't slowing down here. He's going full fucking throttle.
That's
you know?
family genes. That's like, you don't give up. You know, you fight, you fight. And that's why we're fighting now with my brother. And, you know, and anybody around me that is fighting, everybody has a battle.
Right.
There's a battle in between our ears.
Yeah.
For all of us, you know.
Right.
It's just like, you know, we're no different, you know.
Right.
It's just like people approach things different and affect things differently. But I notice when I just try to, like, a little bit of my sort of meditation, whether it's playing piano or just thinking, get out of my head, and just hopefully everybody is cool, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Right.
That's it. Just got to be a great feeling for you that you bring all these people out to see you, and they have such a good time at your show.
Yeah, I mean, plus it's the way I make my living too, and that's always a bonus going. You know, it's like,
Well, you're so good at it.
You know? It's like, you know, who don't want to sell 1 million records?
Of course.
And, but there's consequences that go with everything.
Right.
You know, there's
Price
consequences.
to be paid for that.
Yes.
Yep.
No matter what you do, there's a consequence, and you know, hopefully, sometimes it just works out. And you know, life is experience. You know.
Right.
Well, you're very good at it, so
I've experienced some crazy stuff in my life and some beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
And some beautiful people.
Yeah. And we just scratched the surface tonight. I mean, you know, we could go on forever here. We really could.
Do it again, and you get there's a release on Spotify. There's a bunch of songs on there. You go in there, you get the link or something. But I recorded it.
We'll make sure we post it here on a link here on through Facebook and social media. The link to come check out Mike on Spotify here.
Some serious coffee. I just want to 3 monkeys here.
Yeah, and that's definitely a thank you.
you.
There's 3 monkeys here.
Yeah.
You know, Gavin, man, thank you for letting us sit up here in the tree bar.
It's crazy in there. I walked in. There was a bunch of nurses that helped me when I was in the hospital the first. You know.
Oh, really?
Remember, I was like, yeah, we work at Fox Chase.
Yeah.
Thank you for saving my life.
That's
Man,
awesome.
Amazing you get to see them here tonight too. That's great, man.
Thank you guys for having me.
Man.
I hope I was all right.
You were phenomenal, man.
If I listen to this, I want to shoot myself.
Listen, it's fantastic. And like I said, I mean, I know we just scratched the surface. I think we'd love to have you back, man. Just kind of and get into a little bit deeper. Maybe sometime in the summer, maybe we'll get down the shore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely come out to see you in the summer.
Like I said, I know that's serious about the maybe partnering up on the colorectal stuff.
Yeah,
because,
man.
you know, if we can do something together.
Any kind of cancer, you know, I'm in to help out.
I know you are.
Any kind of sickness at all, you know. If you help somebody, you know, it means a lot.
Yeah. Yes.
It certainly does. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
who looks the youngest in this picture?
You do.
I think Rob does. I think Rob looks pretty young. He's got that young look to him, you know.
I'm brand new 50 though.
Yeah.
When's your birthday?
New Year's Eve.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Bring it in. Yep.
And you're 48?
Yeah.
Kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you're still acting like you're that age on the stage. So.
I think that's why I walk every day and try to work out every day, because now I do it more. There was a time where I never did that.
Yeah.
I would just go on and do it, get out of the shower, go to the gig, and let's do the gig. But, you know, I have to be more aware of what's around me, my techniques, and this is what I'm doing.
Take care of yourself, yeah.
And one swim could be, he had a good career, that's it.
Yeah.
We don't want that to happen.
Yeah, not anytime soon, that's for sure. Yep. Yeah. So again, we're gonna send the link out here. Check out Mike on Spotify and other streaming and download other services here, music services.
I want to give one last shout out to a friend of mine that passed away Sunday, George Light. I know his whole family, the best people. They really cared about me. George passed away on Sunday. And his funeral's Thursday, and I'm very sorry and very sad. I sang, I FaceTimed him at the hospital on Saturday afternoon, morning. Missy, love you, Missy. She asked me, and I played his favorite song on the piano, FaceTimed him, and it was a very emotional thing, and I'm glad I got to do that. It wasn't easy to do, but I'm glad I did it, and George Light will not be forgotten.
Good.
Condolences to George Light. Yep, definitely George and his family. Thinking of you guys and profound impact you've had on Mike and many people's lives here. So again, yeah. So
Is this going to go viral?
you know what? I mean,
We hope.
I think we got some good material in here, and we could definitely go viral, man. We could snip out a ton of clips out of this, Mike.
Irish.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm surprised at how busy this bar is the day after St. Patty's Day, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought we wouldn't have it like on a Tuesday after St. Patty's Day at Three Monkeys is the fucking place to be.
You said you were at the bar. I'm like, I don't want to be around people.
Right? Yeah.
Last night I went out to CBS. I'm going to meet my friend, and he goes, "Where you at the Ashburn?" Then I was going there. I'm like, well, wait a minute. It's St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
I don't want to be around anybody. I was just around a lot of people. So not that I don't want to be around, but
Right.
You want to you got to decompress a little bit.
especially in this neighborhood, a lot of people know
Yeah.
me, and
Right.
I'm flattered and everything. But it can, you need some kind of
Yeah.
But even I walked in here, it's packed. So when you said you were in the bar,
Yeah.
I was like, what are these guys doing?
Yeah.
We know a little bit what we're doing. So.
Yeah. We saw you come in and I know he's making his rounds here. He's definitely making his rounds.
Everybody
Yeah.
stopped again right now.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm very grateful that people come out and see me, and I can't ask for much more. The friends I have, the people,
Incredible following and support, man. Yeah.
people I've met along the years that are true friends and family. I'm grateful.
Well, we'll definitely come out to see you this summer.
We're grateful to have you here too, Mike. I mean, thank you, man.
Thank you guys.
Really looking forward to it.
I was nervous, Like,
Yeah, I mean, I thought everything went great here, man. And again, guys, thank you for tuning in at the Flyby. I'm Mike.
Rob.
I'll tell more stories later on.
Yeah, we're gonna have Mike back here. We're gonna have him back in the summer, that's for sure. Down the shore, we're gonna do a summer edition down the shore, and maybe have Mike on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thank you guys so much.
All right, Mike. Thank you, guys, and
Thanks,
thanks again for tuning in, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
See you soon. Take care.
That's the audition.
100% he's hired.